Shirley Nicholas and Maureen Crossman have lived in and around Langport and Episcopi all of their lives, with some of their memories stretching back even as far as the late 1940s, and of course into the 50s and well after that. Back then, they were known as Little Shirley Overd and Little Maureen Cox, and their parents knew each other too, and probably your grandparents as well, I'm not sure. So what was Langport and Episcopi like back then? What were the shops and businesses like? Who worked in them? Who lived in all these little houses around us? And where do we even start? Well, how about here on this sunny November morning on Bow Street? And Shirley and Maureen, a lot of people won't know that before the Moore Park Road houses popped up, this line of buildings continued across the junction. What were they?
Well, this is the co-op, wasn't it?
No, not yet. First of all, it was Tapper Knights.
Okay, and what was that?
I'll tell you who used to live there. Will Shelston and local.
Tell me about the houses across the junction then.
That's what it was.
You had the co-op one side,
okay,
and the Dolphin the next side, and down through was a tunnel, and you walked, called Knight's Court.
Okay.
And you walked down through there, and there was 6 little cottages with big families in. And me and my mum and dad and my sister Wendy, and Jill was born there, lived in the one at the end. No facilities.
The co-op was a pretty big shop, and it was here until when?
Well, it was here, and then it was knocked down when all these
new
buildings
houses
were made.
came.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We are just alongside the old Dolphin Hotel, which has been closed. The pub's been closed for a long time now. What do you two remember about the Dolphin? Because I think your grandparents lived opposite and drunk in there.
Oh yes, definitely. Yes, because my grandfather, they used to live just over the road, and I used to go in there when I was a young girl.
What was it like?
It was great. It was great. There were loads of youngsters in all over age.
All right for a little... for children to go into the Dolphin in those days?
My mum and dad lived here, and we used to go in there with my mum and dad.
Things like that.
You told me once that a load of workers from Ireland were in Langport digging the sewers and won the football pools.
They did.
And celebrated in the Dolphin. Tell us that story.
Oh, well, it was Downing Rugby and Vets who came to Langport to do the sewers in about 1957, 58. And they stayed in the Dolphin, also stayed with my mum up at Wern.
And they won the pools.
And they won the pools. And they came down here to celebrate. And of course, Sammy Purchase, he was lovely. And on the night of the big win, he appeared at the top of the stairs in the nuddy. And this guy that presented him with the cheque couldn't believe it. But we were all used to his antics, weren't we? What he used to do. But it was a good night. Unfortunately, my father wasn't in on the syndicate, so we didn't get anything.
During the First World War, Weston's had a parachute factory there. And then after the war, Reg Hutchings went there, and he had a huge furniture emporium at the back.
Second-hand furniture.
Second-hand furniture, wouldn't it, Maureen?
Yes, I bought a stool, 12 and sixpence.
I mean, it was actually, Celia, his daughter, was a friend of mine, and we used to go there, and he had a pianola in there. And Celia and I used to go and play the piano.
Yeah, lovely.
But it was a pianola.
Lovely.
So as opposed to today, when we've just got a lot of front doors at this end of town, there were shops and businesses all along here.
Yes,
Oh,
there was.
definitely. Surely. Didn't your parents live over the road and do the Sunday papers there?
They did indeed,
Back in the 40s?
In the 40s. And Harry Norman had his barber shop next door.
Oh, yes, he did. That's right. Great big window.
But my mum and dad gave it up because they had a stroke. And that was the end of that.
I know
really.
they were there for years.
They were there for
How
years.
long did they stay there till?
I think
Do you
it was
remember?
about 1982.
Really?
So here we are in the Vet's yard on Bow Street. What was the Vet's? A grand old building there with the porch on the front. What was it in your day?
It was Pocock's, wasn't it?
Yeah, hardware
store.
Yeah.
Hardware
What
store.
are we talking? The 50s?
40s as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, I remember from the 50s, and the little old lady used to stand in the door.
That's right,
and they
she
used to have
did.
buckets and mops all hanging down over.
Yeah, it was really lovely,
And that was Mr. Jack Pocock, was
Jack
it that owned
Pocock,
that?
yeah.
Yes.
And Shirley, you were just saying to me a few months ago, looking down into the yard here, where the Vet's car park is, Beard's Yard, this is called. What do you remember about these old buildings
Beard's
behind
Yard,
us?
this building here called the Old Forge used to belong to Mr. Garland. He did mended bicycles.
I remember him.
But he also, well, of course, we didn't have electricity in our house until I was 11. And we had to bring an accumulator over here for our radio so that we can charge it up so we can
That's
listen to the
right.
radio.
That's right. I
Right,
remember
hands up,
that.
I've got no idea what an accumulator is.
No, you wouldn't. Look
was
it up.
a glass bottle.
With sort of acid in, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
and they used to take them into Mr.
You
Garland.
charge them up, didn't they?
Charge them up and you come away with another one.
Here we are in Stacy's Court, which for a lot of people, Stacy's Court as in the turning into the youth club, Ridgeway Hall if you like. What was here before?
Well, here before, Greg, was a row of cottages. And my Auntie Wynne lived in one of those, Auntie Wynne West.
Yeah.
And it was all old tumble-down shacks, really.
Yeah.
And, of course, it was pulled down eventually.
Do we know why it was called Stacy's Court?
I've no idea why
No.
it was called Stacy's, to be truthful.
Like it for decades, I suppose.
Yes, decades.
Now, behind you, over the road there, is that old pump, which has been here all of my life, and decade on decade, bits of it fall off and it gets more and more rusty. But what was that about?
Well, that was Glenn Adams' garage behind, and he ran a taxi service as well. And funny enough, when I was having my first daughter, he took me to Butley Hospital.
Really? You called her
And
auntie.
the old Langport reclamation shop there, next to the pump, well, the pump's in the wall of it. What was in that?
Charlie Coe's, the barbers,
Oh, yeah.
wasn't it?
Yes, that's
He used
right.
to say anything for the weekend, apparently.
Oh yes, yeah, that's right. Yes, indeed. I was going to say that. And also, if you went in there and you didn't have dandruff, when you come out, you did. Because he had a fag going, and the ash would always drop
He
below
always
your
used the
head.
same old comb, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. And his wife did the ladies. And I can remember when my mum had my sister Jill, that Wendy and I used to go in there, and Mrs. Coe used to wash our hair, so Mum didn't have to do it.
Webb's Yard then, I mean, even in my lifetime, those two shops either side of the archway have changed,
Well, the
changed
one-
many times. What were they?
The one on the left was Webb's Bakery, and that's all I ever knew. And that was back in the early 50s, because I lived here in, Jill was born in 52, that's why I remember that. Lovely, old family. They went to the chapel. I was in the choir at the chapel, but that bakery was wonderful. And then on the right, what was it on the right,
On
Shirley?
the right, it was a shoe shop.
Mr. Skinner used to be in that shoe shop, I remember, years ago, because he used to say to me, because my mum was an Allen, he said, when the 5 Allen girls walk down through Langport, they're the smartest ones around, he used to say to me.
So just over there behind us, over the road, we've got the Cardamom and a little residential in the middle, and then Foster's News Agency. What do you two remember about that little row of houses over there?
Well, I remember Mr. Stan Ward doing the papers, and next on was the fish and chip shop.
But before that, it was Foster's News Agency.
Yep.
Which is above the door now, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Which it still is.
Yeah,
And that,
yeah.
that my uncle and auntie kept that, Robert Foster. And when he died, they had my auntie had to give up the shop, and she moved down to Bow Street, where I showed you just now, and took over the Sunday newspapers.
Oh, I see, that's where you were.
That's
So-
where I live.
Really get the impression, lots of newspaper shops, lots of barber shops. And now you've mentioned the fish bar. I remember Langport Fish Bar over there in the 80s.
Coggins.
Mr. Coggins.
How many fish and chip shops did we have? back
Only
in there?
that.
Only that.
Oh, that
Okay, yeah.
And on a Saturday night at 10:30, when the pubs chucked out, they'd be queuing all down the road for fish and chips.
All right.
And they stayed open late.
They
didn't
did.
Yeah.
And I say we've got the Cardamom behind us in the present day. Did we have 50s and the 60s? Did we have Indian restaurants?
No, nothing like that.
Caf-
Only,
Cafes and
no cafe,
No cafes.
only fish and chips. And you could go in the little back room and have a cup of tea or coffee of a Sunday afternoon. I used to walk in with my girlfriends. That was wonderful. Cup of tea or coffee, right in this funny little room down the end of the
Yeah.
And what
corridor.
about this grand old building over the road, which is today an undertaker's? I mean, that looks like it's been there a couple hundred years. What was that?
That was Break Seeds.
Well, in Homely, there used to be a lady, Miss Kirkby, and I used to pay rent to
And Miss
her.
Webb.
And Miss Webb, yeah. And then next on to that, you had Mr. Rouse, the photographer,
Where our Arlington House is.
where Arlington House is. And Mrs. Rouse used to teach me in school. Did
And
she
me.
teach you?
And me.
Yeah, and Mum, and my mum. Yeah, and then opposite there, opposite Mr. Rouse, There was the Goosey and Rogers
Goosey was the
chemist.
chemist. A really old-fashioned place, wasn't it, Maureen?
But Langport East, a lot of the kids used to come from Somerton on the train to the
school, didn't they, Maureen?
Yes, and they used to call it the bucket. And all the kids used to come from, and I used to get on that train later in the day to go to Somerton, have my hair done.
That's right.
But not
stopped years ago, Maureen, didn't it?
Yes, that did. But previous to that, the Langport West, that's where what we know about.
Of course,
more,
yeah.
Isn't it, really?
But actually, when my dad came out, my dad served all his life in the Navy, and he did 7 Russian convoys. And when he came out of the Navy in 1946, looking for a job, there weren't many jobs, so he had to take a job with British Rail, and he was what they call a linesman. And on a Saturday morning, he took it in turns. They had to walk the line and hit the sleepers in to make sure they were safe. And my dad was not religious at the time, but he always said to me said to us kids that when he was walking the line one day, it was very windy, and he suddenly heard his mother's voice say, "Herb." And he looked round, and there was a train almost on him.
Oh my word!
And he jumped out, and the train. But my dad was a great raconteur, so whether you believe it or not, but that's what he told us.
But I remember getting on that train when my mother's sister, Auntie Roan, with her twin babies, we used to get on the train and go up to Martock, get off at Martock, and go all up through the street so she could visit her brother, Uncle Ern. But it was lovely.
And I got the ticket from the last train from Langport West.
Have you really?
I have.
Oh, I took down my daughter Jane when it closed, and that was 64.
It was.
Yes, and she was a babe in arms, and I had a photograph taken when the last train went out.
Well, I got the ticket from on the last
You
train.
really?
Yeah.
Did a lot of people jump on those trains?
Oh yes.
Gosh,
To go
yes.
to work?
Yes, Yeovil, wasn't
Well, of
it?
course, a lot of people worked in Westlands, Greg.
That's right.
My brother actually
your
caught
dad
the train because he was an apprentice at Westlands, and it was used tremendously in those days.
Oh yes, my first husband,
and of course
Dennis
the kids,
Bown,
kids when Bishop Fox's went there, caught the train there,
That's
didn't
right,
they?
yeah.
My sister went to Bishop Fox's, and she caught the train there. It was
I
really
can remember,
busy.
I can remember Den, my first husband, telling me when he got to the railway bridge, if he was a bit late on his bike, the guy on the train would go boop boop, and
He'd wait.
He'd wait for him
That's
to get
right.
on the train to go to Westlands. That was Westlands.
Yeah, Westlands, yeah.
Mrs. Creed, this little lady, used to sit in the shop. She had a 1-bar electric fire
That's all she had.
with a big newspaper. She'd always read the news.
She'd hardly look up when
She wouldn't look up, and the place caught fire once.
It did.
And the shop went up.
Yeah.
She was okay, but the shop
went.
that was it.
backwards.
No more Mrs. No more Wilshire.
We're standing in the driveway of what was the old Sanford Bus Company.
That's right.
Quick bit about that then. A timetabled bus company?
No,
No,
it was just
trips. Local trips to take you off to Bristol or
Seaside.
Seaside mostly.
Right behind us there, we've got the old bookshop, which was part of...
Packers.
Which was what?
Motorcycles.
Actually, my brother-in-law worked there for a while.
The old Emporium, of course, was...
Over at Knox.
A lovely shop.
It was, wasn't
Lovely
it?
shop. If you went in there, you wouldn't get a packet of 5 screws or nuts and bolts. They'd weigh them in the scales.
That's right.
You know, wrap it in
You had what they wanted, didn't you?
wrap it in newspaper and on you go. And it was a fishing shop. You could get your fishing there.
The thing was, in those days, you didn't have to buy a huge packet of screws. You could just buy half a
How
dozen.
many you wanted.
That's right.
Exactly.
And tied closely to Somerton's overlock, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Yes.
Behind you then, that old white building with the black doors and windows, the shambles, that was a...
Oh, a paint shop. Paint
Les
decorator.
Hector.
Mr. Les Hector. Yeah. Oh.
Paint shop.
Oh, it was there for years. Lovely
And there
shop.
used to be a big cottage back behind, wasn't there?
I'm not sure about
Yeah.
that, but she was lovely, and I worked in the shop opposite, which was
4 acres.
4 acres.
Which today is called Victor's, which until recently has been a barber.
Yeah. Yes, that's
So
correct.
when I was a child in the 70s, that was Vince Bratton's electrical shop.
That's
That's right.
But before that,
It was 4 acres.
Toby Foraker, and he used to sell second-hand TVs and cookers and
Everything.
records.
And records.
45 records. I used to
Talking about the 50s?
Early 60s, I
early
think.
60s, about 63, 64.
Something like that, yeah.
and I used to love it in there. And then in the mornings, Mrs. Hector that lived opposite, that had the paint shop, she'd be cleaning the front of her shop, cleaning the windows and brushing up, and I'd be cleaning up this side. It was second hand. They used to get the middle of them out, didn't they? And they took them out of jukeboxes. And I used to be working in there and learning all the words. I used to put this old record player on and put the record on and listen to the words. And that's how I learned the words.
And also, ladies, somewhere behind you in that little row, Langport had a glove factory, didn't
Oh,
we?
definitely.
There used to be 50 women working there, didn't there?
Yes,
Making not hand-sewn gloves.
Ends
gloves.
house.
Yes, yes.
That's right.
All local ladies.
All local ladies.
Worked in there. Oh, it was a big concern.
big concern.
Until
Yeah.
when?
Oh, I think it closed in about the early 60s, didn't they?
Do you know, I really
I
can't
think so.
Was
remember.
that unusual that there were glove factories outside of Yeovil?
Oh,
Yeovil,
yes,
of
they
course,
were.
being the centre of the gloving trade.
That's right, petards.
Oh yeah, and Martock.
They
used
had
to
at
do a lot.
Stoke-on-Hampden, they had a factory.
And then a lot of them then chose to do it at home.
And some did hand-sewn gloving,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Lots of ladies. My mum did it, and her sisters did it
Yeah,
at home.
yeah.
The old market house is behind us. Up there on the guttering, you can still see the remains of the old pub sign where it used to swing. What sort of pub was that like, and when did that close?
Oh, it was
Lovely, wasn't it?
lovely pub.
Beautiful, little
The
oldie
landlord
worldy.
was so friendly, wasn't he?
Oh, and they used to have a little, like a jukebox on
They
the
did,
wall.
they did.
And Saturday morning, the music could be going all down through the street.
it did.
Next on, you had Luxton and Lock, the bakers.
Now that's where Brainwave charity shop is
That's
today.
Yes, yeah.
Which I always remember, a lot of people will remember as
Cyril
Cyril Head's
Heads.
shop.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no,
Before Cyril's it was...
Luxton and Lock.
the bakers.
A lovely bakers.
Was it?
Yeah.
Right smack bang in the middle of town, we've got the town hall, which I believe was a magistrate's court.
Oh gosh, yes.
It was, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, upstairs.
And they called them assizes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was upstairs, wasn't it?
that's it.
Magistrate
Well,
court.
I used to work in the building just opposite, the Langport Mott and Clark in the solicitors, and I remember one day I had to take a message over to someone that was in court, and this funny old wooden stairs you walk
know,
up,
yeah.
and as you got to the top of the stairs, this big door opened up. Send up Mr. Jones. I thought, oh my God. And then I had to pass this message to go to one of the members of the jury or whatever it was.
Langport had a court.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
yes.
Oh,
We had
yes.
everything in those days, more than we?
Oh, and you had certain people that went there all the time,
Oh, yeah.
and they knew all the gossip, didn't they?
They did.
Sit at the back.
But opposite there, where it's Langport store, that was a fishmonger, Baker's, and he used to travel round on his motorbike with a sidecar with a fish inside.
Oh, did he?
And his wife served in the shop.
Oh, I don't-
And Pam Baker, she married one of the Osmonds.
Now, Langport had so many little shops and
Oh,
businesses.
the-
You
lovely.
didn't really need to go to places like Taunton Street.
No,
we
no,
never know.
no.
So it was a courthouse then. What about the Undercroft? What's now the Vintage Quarter? What was underneath?
They used to keep fire engines there.
Yeah, there was.
But
the
not very
Langport had
long,
its
was
own
it?
fire engine.
But
I
not for
remember.
very long, was
No,
it? No.
no.
What, in your lifetimes?
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
yes,
yeah, in our lifetime,
yeah. And they used to have somebody that went up and put the clock right,
Right,
and
yeah.
went up the top and wound up the
They
clock.
did.
Was that Mr. Perrott? One
No,
time?
no, no. One was
Before then?
Just trying to think of that one.
Clock's obviously been there all your
Oh,
lives.
yes.
Oh God!
Yes.
Oh, but when I went
And-
to school, you could see it as you're going up to school, couldn't
Oh,
you?
yes.
Make sure you were on time.
And they had jumble cells, local jumble cells in the town hall.
They did,
didn't they?
yeah, they did.
Served coffee and tea, and there used to be a lot of jumble cells.
Yeah.
then.
A lot of
And the
jobs.
Royal British Legion Bar
Oh,
and club
oh,
was
yeah.
up there.
That was a
Oh,
really
yeah.
Did you both go?
thriving-
Oh,
Did you go?
yes.
really thriving
Yeah, they used to have
place. And
dances
I tell
up
you, we
there.
used to play there. Harry Wydrow,
Oh, and
Chris
Marshall.
Osborne, Marshall Sturgeon,
Yeah.
and they just have a little dancing session up there, didn't they?
Yeah, it was.
It was a venue, it was a place to go.
Oh yeah,
definitely
every
venue.
Saturday night, and of course drinks were cheap.
Of course,
there.
below there was a big snooker tables.
That's right.
And here we are in the precinct. What do you remember before the row of shops was built?
Well, when I
Scrubland.
can remember,
Street.
we used to have railings here, right in the front. No shops, no car
No,
park.
like funny old cow stalls down the bottom. It was all mud.
A big ramshackle.
Yeah. Oh yes.
You couldn't get through, could you?
Oh no.
No,
And the
no.
waterway that runs along behind the railings down in the town garden came
That's right,
under the
came
town
through
hall.
here.
And it was exposed.
It was.
Yeah.
It was exposed, and I've always remembered
Yeah.
I went to Bishop Fox's grammar school, which I hated,
In
And-
Taunton.
in Taunton, and we had to make a stew for the cookery lesson, and I was never a very good cook. I thought, I can't take this home to Mum. So I got
Chucked it in the river?
I did. I got out the bus, crossed the road, threw it in the river.
And those pillars across the junction of this precinct, we've still got 2 of them.
Yeah, but
There were 4 or 6. That was railings that opened and closed, yeah?
oh no, they didn't open and close.
No,
Totally
no.
closed.
Just a walkway then.
Yeah.
You could walk in, could you?
No, you
It
couldn't
was
get
just
through.
like a field. I remember an old house store.
You couldn't get
Then
through.
what? No. And then they built the toilets up here, didn't they? Remember years
Yeah.
ago?
Behind you too.
Yes.
Where, of course, the famous photograph of the car
Oh,
on the
that's
roof
right, yeah.
was taken.
SYD 609.
Yes, I think my uncle was something to do with that. And there behind us, you've got Nat West Bank, which was formerly Stuckey's Bank. Can you remember the staff in the bank when you were younger? And what branch was it? Was it Nat West back in your day?
Westminster.
Westminster Bank.
Yeah, no, Westminster Bank.
Did you bank in there? Or
I couldn't think so for 1 minute.
Or
no,
Lloyd's
no,
perhaps on the corner?
no, I used to go in the post office.
Post office, I get postal order.
But no, I don't remember many in the Westminster Bank. I didn't use that. Lloyd's, I
Lloyd's,
went
Lloyd's
to.
Bank.
Yes.
When this precinct opened, we're standing in now with the row of shops behind me that Cyril Head had built.
Exactly, yeah.
Was it a bit of a revelation for Langport to suddenly have a mini shopping
yeah.
precinct?
Well, I suppose
Did
it
people
was,
take to it?
yes.
Did
It was,
people
wasn't
take
it?
to it?
Yes, several shops. They were all different shops down there now.
Oh, yeah. At
ones
the
that
end,
are
there used to be a lovely dress shop.
Oh,
wasn't it?
yes.
Vanessa's.
Vanessa.
Oh, lovely.
And then Richard Body. had
Richard
a
Body.
men's
Ben's
suits. Men's suits.
Oh,
And-
lovely,
And this
wasn't
precinct opened in 69, 70, 71, something like that, I believe.
Oh, do you think about in the early 70s?
Yes, I think.
Jenny
yes.
Knight had a chocolate
That's
shop.
right, she did.
Yeah.
At the end.
There was a fishing shop here.
Yes, Tony Rule.
Frank Pengelly started here
Yes, he did.
He did.
Cycle
before we
shop.
moved to the barn opposite the primary school.
That's right, yes. Now, I remember working in Langport on Clark back in the early 60s. I worked in there. I was on the switchboard, one of those wind-up
Oh, yeah, I
things, you
know.
know, put them through. And I loved it in there. And then further on, oh, you're not going to go as far as Harold Press, are you? So
No,
you
no, I
want to
thought
talk
about that. No, I'd like to mention Priddle's Saddlery.
Go on.
Opposite the Langport Arms. That was a beautiful shop. He used to make saddles and all beautiful leather stuff, and you go in there and the lovely smell, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely lovely.
She was a lovely lady, wasn't she,
Oh,
Mrs.
yes,
Priddle?
Mrs.
And
Priddle.
he used to also be the rat man, Mr.
He
Priddle.
did.
Do you
And of course, I
remember?
remember the son, Stan.
Yes,
'Cause
that's
he was-
right.
he was
had
my
one,
age at
They had
school.
one child.
Yeah.
Langport had a rat man.
Oh yes, Mr.
Yeah.
Priddle used to come round with his big yellow gloves
did.
and a bucket, and I think it was 7 and 6pence. Something like that. Next door was Mr. Harvey, the sweet shop.
That's right.
He had everything
And
in
then he
there.
had
everything.
hairdressers up the hill,
on the
didn't he?
hill. Yeah, yeah. But everything was in that shop.
Yeah, it was.
And he knew where. Oh, it was so crowded, but he knew where everything
Everything
was.
was, yeah.
And very quickly, last but not least, the Langport Arms, centre of town venue
Yes.
Yeah.
for all of you.
Yeah, you used to have a
yeah.
police ball every year.
Tell us more.
Oh, it was really
lovely.
nice. You used to wear
Every
your
dress
smart
up.
dresses.
Oh, yeah, dressed
Yeah.
up to the
It
nines.
used to be a good night. In the early 60s, the dances every weekend. I used to go there.
Oh, did?
Oh yeah, I used to love that with my girlfriends.
I used to love dancing. I was quite a good dancer in those days. And I used to just love dancing. And when I met my husband, he was a good dancer. And we used to take the floor sometime to do the foxtrot. Nobody else would get up.
Because you wanted all the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, well, look, thanks for sharing your memories today. Apologies to all those people looking in who think, well, hang on, they didn't mention my
you'll
granddad's
have to
old
say
shop.
that.
Oh,
They
yes.
didn't mention me nan's old shop. They didn't mention. We couldn't fit it all
There
in.
is a lot. We could go on all day, couldn't we, Shirley?
Certainly 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, that's going to have to be another show. Maureen Crossman, Maureen Cox it was, and actually you were Maureen Bowen at one
Yeah.
point, and Shirley Nicholas, Shirley Over it was.
It was
Thank
indeed.
you both very, very much for your time this windy November Sunday morning here in Langport.
Oh,
Thank
we've
you.
enjoyed it.
We've
haven't we,
enjoyed
Shirley,
it.
going back?